Greetings. Hi. Hello. Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube page. I'm Fire Lotus the Witch. And it's been a solid minute, okay? It's been a very solid minute. And this is kind of going to be the video of explaining why a little bit. So for one, life has been lifing. To be honest, the past 3 years have just been chaotic. There are so many things that have happened that are completely outside of my control, right? But another thing that I wanted to talk about is burnout. And another concept, which I may make an entirely different video on. But burnout can be a real thing. Now, I've been practicing witchcraft for 22, going on 23 years. I started practicing it when I was 11, or started researching it at 11 and 12, and fully started practicing it coming out of the broom closet at the age of 13, and I'm currently 32. That is not a flex in any way, shape, or form. I learn and unlearn things every single day. What nobody had ever taught me, and I think I've talked about this on my podcast before, and I'll also explain why I haven't really done that in a while too, is the fact that when you do something that you absolutely love doing with a passion, and that kind of gets shifted to becoming a teacher and a mentor, and then social media and everything that comes along with that, you kind of don't realize that it's happening until it's happened. And that's kind of what happened with me. Obviously, I'm still practicing, but if you follow me on any type of my social, I haven't really been as talkative about witchcraft and practices and things like that. And to be honest, the current aspect of the entire world has also had to do with that too, because in my own opinion, there were a bunch of creators who jumped up and tried to predict this or said that this was going to happen and this was going to happen, and it did not, because the future is objective. Even with my readings, the future is objective. The oracle cards, tarot cards are not meant, these are not meant to predict your future. They are meant to give you insight and foresight to give you more control. What do I mean by that? If you know that a situation could potentially go this route, then you have the upper advantage because you automatically know how to react to that. Not to mention, there's this concept where, oh, well, you witches just need to all get together and fix this. Doesn't work that way either. Not to get political, but there are witches that are also on the other side of the politics too. It's very complex. So you mix that with just my own stuff that's gone on in my life, and I kind of hit burnout stage without fully realizing that I'd hit burnout stage. Now, creatively, I've been doing this off and on since roughly about 2018 to 2019. And I kind of took a step back when my partner was going through his cancer journey. He's fully recovered from that. Um, but ever since then, I've been kind of struggling with, being relevant and platforms dramatically changing. That also is one of the reasons my podcast hasn't really been podcasting. One of the main sites that I used to use where I could have people on to do like the dual interviews changed. They sold, and then that one sold, and now it's an entirely different one. And I still have access. I can still do recordings and upload them, but I haven't quite figured out the technique and the website or the platform where I can have guests on and me also be able to have the stuff that I need to be able to upload that. I'm working with an older tablet, which is a blessing, don't get me wrong. So that's one of the reasons that's also changed, not to mention just life in general. I'm 32, and not to get dark, but I barely thought I was going to make it till I was 18 or 16, much less 21, much less 32. Well, there's another spiritual concept, which is, I wanted to look this up to make sure I relay this information. So it is called the Dark Night of the Soul. Um, it's just a concept, but a lot of people tend to possibly go through it. Spiritually, the dark night of a soul is a profound and painful period of spiritual crisis, a loss in faith, and a deeper emptiness. It was described by Saint John of the Cross as a necessary part of the soul's journey towards God, whatever other terminology you'd like to use for that. The difficult phase involves a collapse in the mind's previously held meaning and concepts about life, leading to a sense of meaningless, and ultimately serve as a transformation process akin to like an ego death, paving the way for a deeper, more authentic spiritual awakening and renowned connection to the truer self. When you go through one of those, it can last a few weeks to a few months to possibly years. I'm 98% sure I'm in one of those now. just because obviously I still believe that magic is real. Obviously, I do it every day. I light my candles, I talk to my ancestors, I read for people, I do custom spell work and my own personal spell work. But there's a core aspect of that with me has shifted. And it's kind of like I'm in that like free fall stage right now. And to be honest, I think a lot of other spiritual people are also going through that too, because the world that we're currently living in, there is so much stuff that has transpired in, if you really look at it, in a short amount of time, but that short amount of time feels like multiple lifetimes, that it's kind of sent a lot of people into a spiral. Social media has also changed dramatically. We all know about the TikTok shutdown, and since the shutdown of the initial TikTok here in America, my content's not really being pushed like a lot of other practitioners are, okay? And it's not even just practitioners. There's a lot of other creators that are not being pushed. With my account, I still have Fire Lotus the Witch and Fire Lotus the Witch 2.0. With those accounts, including Instagram and even Facebook, basically we're at that point where they're like, oh, well, you have this and this amount of followers, so in order for them to see your content, you need to pay us. With every ounce of content and every platform that I have under Fire Lotus the Witch, I have never once dropped a single dime to promote or sponsor those videos. As in, yes, I do the TikTok affiliate shop, but along the lines of I pay them $10, they or say $25, $100, they guarantee me 15,000 views. There's a lot of pros and cons that come with that too, because when you promote a video, you don't get to direct what FYP it falls on. Baphomet, are you okay? He's freaking out more than I am. We just discovered there's a giant fucking spider in our bedroom. So now we're trying to figure out what to do. But no, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And it's kind of very weird because this is my ultimate dream, to be a full-time practitioner, as in to teacher, mentor, which I still do. I have a Discord. All of that is still there. It's just here, right? Not to mention going through mental health, seasonal depression, anxiety, how that shifts as you grow and get older. Again, not a lot of people told me. I have just under this, vague concept. Oh, it just gets better. It does get better, but it also changes. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am actively working on ways that I can kind of unburn myself out. But if you've been following me for any length of time, you also know I'm not one of those creators. I'm not going to throw something up or make something if I'm not 100%. So that's kind of why I've been a little MIA. I'm still here. I'm still making content, primarily on TikTok. But yeah, we're kind of in the in-between stage at that. Not to mention this month in general for me is extremely heavy because in my past, there's been a lot of people that have passed away and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And the reason I'm making this video is because I know if I'm going through it and I feel lost and I feel like I'm the only one that's going through it, nobody else would understand it. I know for a fact there's going to be other people that need to hear these exact same words. It's normal. Okay? You're not being punished. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't been hexed. You haven't been cursed. It is 100% genuine normal for people to go through. It's just very weird because I never thought I would go through this, and at another point in my life I thought I'd already went through it. Apparently, shocker, you can go through it twice. So I am still here. We have a Discord. My email is firelotusthewitch@gmail.com. Sorry for the banging. He's trying to shoo the spider away without killing it. It's a big ass fucking spider, y'all. It is literally the size of my fucking hand. Huge. So, but thank y'all. Also, a big shout out to the people who have been watching my videos, because in order to get like fully sponsored through YouTube, you have to have like 10,000 hours of watch times. We hit 4,000. So, thank y'all for that. That's absolutely amazing. But that's kind of where I'm in right now. My craft is evolving. If y'all would like me to make a video on that, to be vague with it, a lot of the authors and other things that I kind of built my knowledge on and shouted out and things like this, a lot has changed, we'll say that. So that's kind of affected me and just the state of the world. And, depending on how long you've been practicing your own practice, you will get to a point where you kind of look around and you're like, wait, it's basically it's like a snake. I'm to that point as the life of a snake where I'm trying to shed. I just don't exactly know what's next, if that makes any sense. Obviously, I'm still practicing. It's just it's changing, and normally a lot of people never have to share this with other people, and I want to because I know that other people need to hear it. Now I'm rambling. But anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. If y'all have any questions or anything like that, feel free. Again, all platforms, all inboxes on every platform: Instagram, Facebook, um, Blue Sky, Threads, and TikTok. You can hit me up on them. My inbox is always open, and you can also email me, firelotusthewitch@gmail.com. I'm still doing readings. I'm still doing custom spell work, and I'm still doing mentoring and teaching as well. Again, we also have a Discord, and hopefully I'll become a little bit more active in that and get that more active too. But there are a lot of amazing practitioners in there. So yeah, thank y'all so much, and I will hopefully get back into fully posting videos. Thank you.